Okay, so what we've done is we've allowed the wire to kind of see where the positioning would be in the board, and you can see where my thumbs are, and I've got them kind of kinked here. And so what I would do is I would mark that spot, and I would take my drill, bring it over. Now the tendency is here is to we want to cinch the wire in as close to the ball as possible, but we also want to try to get some meat of this plank so that we can cinch it up. We don't want to put the wire through the middle. In some cases we can, but the problem is if we put the wire through the middle slats here, it can slide up and down and become less valuable to us. So I'm going to take my drill and I'm just going to go. Okay, so I've got one end drilled. I'm going to take my wire and push it through like that. Whoops, and be careful. See what I've done? I've allowed that wire to start reaping havoc on the shield frond, and that's going to happen. There's not much you can do about that, but you got to just kind of try to be careful, and you always take your time when you're doing this stuff. Okay, so I'm kind of scooting this up where it needs to be. I'm marking it with my thumb. I'm going to take my thumb. I'm going to come back, grab my drill, and I'm going to go right through the shield. And be careful. You can feel it. You don't want to drill into your workbench. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, we've got it marked here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to give myself a little extra slack so that I can go around the back and twist this thing together. So we've got one end pushed through, and I'm going to hold on to this, and I'm going to get the other end, and I'm going to find my way to where the other hole is. It should be right around here. There it is. Okay. Now, obviously this is going into the workbench, and so what I want to do is lift this up and pull the slack through without damaging the shield frond. And I'm going to pull the other side through as well. I've got this one in this hand. I'm going to pull this one through. So this is one of those things where if you've got a helper, you can say, hey, hold on to this while I pull this wire through. I'm working by myself. Joe's here, but he's working the camera, so he's just witnessing all of my shortcomings. And he's witnessing that I've just bent that shield frond over. But that's the way it goes. So here we are. Now, if I bring this up and around, you can see how we've got it together in the back. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to pull it tight. We're going to wrap it around. And then check to make sure that it's positioned where you want. If you need to move anything, remember this is supposed to be a little bit high on the board. Does it need to be rotated around at all? It looks pretty good. So what I would do is grab my wire cutters. I take a little bit of this excess off. Ouch. I just don't want to show my wounds there. And then if we just twist this around, what this will do is cinch it down pretty tight. Okay? So this looks like it's going to be holding things pretty well here. Now what we have to decide is if we want to put another wire down below here, and if I did, where would that go? I've got these little pups that are just starting to emerge, and I'm worried that this wire might slip off and damage these pups. So we might be okay. We might be okay with this where it is right now. So here's one wire. You can give it a test, but this is holding it on pretty well. Okay, we've got the sphagnum moss tucked in behind. If we wanted to go back and cut some of this shield off, I usually just leave it. Remember, what's happening is that this is just grabbing onto all the moisture and slowly letting it percolate down. So we've just mounted a staghorn fern. Now it looks a little bit up, it looks a little bit off center, it's a little bit high. Remember, we're allowing for this to grow out and this to grow out, and so just a little above center, and we're good to go. Okay, and then we take this thing right outside and water it. Okay.